my introduction. Okay, where do I begin? It's a question that I often asked when one's asked about himself. This is a question we silently ask ourselves every day when someone asks you, how are you doing? You say, well, where do I begin? Oftentimes you don't have time to either sit and listen or to explain what you are doing or how you're actually feeling. In my case, I begin by telling you my name is Bryan Montgomery, and that's Bryan with a Y. Okay, I was born in Gable, South Carolina, a long time ago, but I grew up in California. My father was in the Navy, and that meant that we would travel from coast to coast and up and down the coast. It also meant that I was brought up very well-rounded, and I understand and have communicated and talked to a lot of different people in a lot of different cultures. I was born the second eldest of 9 children, and it didn't take me long to decide I needed to get out of the house as quickly as possible when I grew up. So I spent a large part of my life in the Army, and since that's where I met my wife for 32 years, have 3 kids, I was able to travel, as I said, and buy a house and sell in Hope Mills. The Army's actually been a large part of my life and been a large influence on me. I retired, I started first class working within the field artillery. And I would recommend, as was mentioned earlier, the Army is a great life. If you want the training and you want to learn and grow up, the Army is a great place to do it, especially with supporting you with the money and the other accoutrements, let's put it that way. The Army's also allowed me to attend college at their expense, so I can retrain myself, put myself back in the workforce as a trained and competent individual. After my Army, I bounced around from job to job for a little while, but then finally settled as a correctional officer. I work in Harnett Correctional Institution in Lillington. My plans from here to start some business somewhere, doing something once I retire from the Department of Corrections. And living out my days, being blessed enough to be my own boss, and having enough time that when asked, how are you doing, I'll be able to answer, well, where do I begin?